All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Martha Serrano. I'm the coordinator for the Money Management Center here at Fresno State. And we have a great presentation today. And so I'm glad that people were able to join in. Again, we'll be recording the session. So if you have to log off a little early or always want to revisit this recording, we'll have it posted on our website, hopefully within the next few days. And I'll put in the chat box for our website. But now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Laila Plair so she could do the presentation. I will make sure to keep an eye out in the chat box, or if you want to put any of your questions in the Q&A, we'll be able to address those questions throughout the presentation. But I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, Laila.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martha. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you for joining us today this afternoon. I know that there's many places that you guys are very busy, and I remember being a student. So I just want to thank you all for your time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my video for now to share with you guys the content, but I'll pop back in at the end. And please feel free to ask as many questions. I'm very laid back, love the questions, and we'll go ahead and kick it off. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Miss Martha, it says the host has disabled the participant screen sharing.
Oh, let me take care of that right now.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. You should be able to now.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. It is not allowing me to share here. Give me just a second. There we go. There we go. Martha, can you confirm on your end that you can see everything okay?
Yes, we could see it.
Beautiful. Okay, so as Martha explained, we're going to talk today about working towards your financial goals. This is one of my favorite topics, so I'm very excited to be able to share with you all today. So let me just go ahead. Let me just 1 second here. All right. So as I mentioned, my name is Laila Plair. I'm very excited to be here with you all today. I'm located here in Northern California. I am a program manager here at Wells Fargo. I've been here almost a year and a half now. I come from actually the world of education, and I'm just very passionate about financial awareness and just getting students as much information as possible. So that's why I'm in the position that I am now. All right. Just to kind of set the tone on what we're going to discuss today, we're going to really look at just identifying your goals, how to create a plan, making a budget, managing your spending, understanding the benefits of cost and borrowing. You know, money is nice to have. We all want to have it, right? As it provides, the means to achieving all of our goals, whether that's a new computer from a few months from now, studying abroad, a trip in a year, next year, or even saving towards towards graduate school. All these, no matter big or small, they're your goals, and they're so important. So our focus here is just to kind of set aside a plan on how we can achieve those things. Okay, so as you're getting started, a great first step is to understand what a concrete financial goal really looks like. Goals are different from your financial needs, regular expenses, and like food or transportation. Financial goals are something that you plan for. So let's look at some of the examples. Let's see here. All right. So, saving towards your off-campus apartment, you may want to study abroad, take a vacation. It's important to establish what that fund is really going to look like. If you use a credit card, your goal might be to use it responsibly. If you've taken out student loans or any type of loan, it's a really good idea just to continue to pay those down, as of course, that's going to affect your credit. You might want to save up for grad school, even an apartment. Moving out was a big thing for me, I know. So let's kind of dive into how to set those goals appropriately. All right, being smart, right? So as you get your financial goals, it's important to be smart about them. This acronym is helpful with coming up different goals for your success. Make your goals specific. Think about what you're saving for and why that's important to you. Make sure it's measurable instead of just saving money. Figure out exactly how much you need for each goal. It is achievable. Ask yourself if you have the resources and the capabilities in order to meet that goal. Your goals should be relevant. What its tangible benefit will help you for reaching that goal, and why does that goal matter to you is so important. And finally, attaching a timeline to that goal, setting a deadline for when you want to reach that goal. Here is just a small example, right? So if we want to save more money and we want to see, how we are able to do that to be successful, setting aside bits and pieces of money each month, say that you want to go on a great trip next year for spring break, right? Setting aside a certain amount, figuring out how much you need and setting aside that amount per month towards that goal. Okay. So is your goal short, medium, long term? You can determine that. You probably have a bunch of goals at this point. It's important to start prioritizing them so that you can make it a realistic plan to achieve them. One way to think about this is a time frame. How long do you have before you need to achieve this goal? Is it a couple of months? Is it a couple of years? Are you saving for grad school? What does that really look like for yourself? Answering these questions can help you categorize your goals into short-term, medium, and long-term goals. What might decide your short-term goals might include anything that you might want to accomplish within, let's just say, the next 12 months. Let's perhaps say that a medium goal is something that you want to cross off your list within the next 3 years. And you can call anything that will take up more than those 3 years, let's just say it's a long-term goal. Answering these questions can help you categorizing what that really looks like for yourself. Awesome. So creating a plan. Once you've categorized your goals, it's important to put a plan together so that you can achieve them. Each goal, regardless if it's long-term, medium, short, it's going to require different steps within it, right? So setting up a savings plan for grad school or buying a car in the future, it's not always easy to stay on the course, but that's why creating this plan will help you achieve more effectively that goal or those goals. Okay, let's talk about planning for those short-term goals, right? This is the good stuff, the fun stuff that we want to talk about. Here, the short-term goal refers to the goals that you want to achieve within the next year. For example, you might want to save for a trip that you want to take next winter break. You figured out that you need, let's just say for this example, $750. You have 5 months before you'll need that money. Let's just say that's the time frame. So now you'll need to put $150 away each month, or about $37 a week until then. And you may not hit a figure each month, but every penny is going to help you towards achieving that goal. Now let's consider more of a medium goal. Buying a used car, buying a car in general, right? So let's think how much further ahead for this medium goal. You have 1 to 3 years. An example might be to go ahead and purchasing your car. Let's say that you expect to spend roughly $20,000, and you want to put down at least 20% for that down payment. So you're looking at about $4,000. You would want to set aside $167 per month, and that would help you achieve that goal. Now, I can tell you that expenses come up all the time. You just don't really know what to expect. Sometimes you have surprises, right? So of course, with this 1 to 3 year time goal, if my goal is to save $167, but let's just say it's your best friend's birthday and you want to take them out to splurge, and this month you can only save $100. Well, of course, you're going to make up that amount for the next month, but just keeping yourself responsible and cautious about that so that you stay on track to achieve that goal. All right, let's get into the long-term stuff. All right, so let's just say this goal is going to take 3 years or more. Let's consider the example of graduate school. If you plan to attend, you want to start thinking about how you're going to start financing that goal now. Assume you want to attend grad school 5 years from now. There are a few ways you might want to finance that goal. After you've done the research, let's assume that tuition expenses for the year for grad school is going to run roughly about $50,000. This means that you may want to consider taking out some loans, finding a few different options. Many people have combined a few different sources that will help them achieve this goal realistically. For example, being able to finance some of that tuition with a partial scholarship of, let's just say, $20,000. We'll share some of that resource option later in this presentation. We'll discuss that. You may want to decide to get a student loan for the remainder of that tuition, which would come down to about $10,000. That means you have $20,000 left to fund yourself. You'll have to save about $333 a month now to have enough for those expenses in 5 years. Now let's kind of discuss what it's going to look like to work towards those goals. Let's see here. Okay, so once you've done all the hard work of planning, it's also important to celebrate your wins, right? Super important to celebrate your wins on the way. Breaking down the big goals in smaller chunks helps you stay motivated and on track. For example, when you get halfway to saving towards that apartment goal or whatever goal that you might set for yourself, it's important to set some time just to acknowledge your efforts so it motivates you to stay consistent and work even harder towards your goal. You don't have to spend a lot or anything like that, but just take some time to just reward yourself. That can look different for each person, but you kind of answer that question, not, treat yourself with a nice meal, a sweet treat, something like that. Okay, making a budget. So planning for the concrete short-term, medium, long-term goals is a great first steps to work on this process, but your goals must be accompanied with realistic goals for yourself and expectations, which raises the question, what exactly is a budget? You might be wondering, how is a budget different from just planning when you just put this together, right? So a plan is a big picture. You need to figure out your plan to achieve your goals, so you have a general idea on how to get there. But after that step, you need to look more closely at your income and expenses and at the day-to-day level of putting together this plan and have it be in action. If you come up with a realistic budget, you're more likely to stick to it and stay on track towards your goal. Now let's look at a breakdown on how we can actually do that. Okay, so here are the 5 steps in creating your budget and adapting to it as you go. Organize. Let's start by pulling together our pay stubs, our bank statements, our bills, and our other financial information to make a list of the different ways that we're earning money, including whatever side gigs that you might have, all of that, right? And use this information to total what your total income really looks like. Let me see here. And so in doing that, let me pull this here, track all your expenses from there, including your bills, your groceries, your gas, all your streaming services, and see how that money is tracking, right? Track and log all these expenses as you go. Categorize your spending into categories like food, transportation, clothing, and consider what your expenses are fixed versus those that are a little bit more flexible. Analyze this, and at the end of each month, subtract your expenses from your income and see what you have left from the savings. If your expenses are greater than your income, consider what expenses are more wants versus what you actually need. Then you want to get into the habit to look over your budget each and every month to make the changes necessary to keep you on track towards your goal. All right. So getting a budget may help you find that you can help cut back and save more towards your goals. It's a good time to start looking and categorizing these different things, your personal goals, what your wants might be versus what your needs are in actuality. All right, so this is one of the great things I think we have to offer here. You can access this at thewellsfargo.com. You can look at starting creating your My Budget. This is a great tool that you can use. You can use this to help prevent your impulse buys. I know I do that online for sure. I definitely need to get better at that. And it can help just prevent your unexpected expenses, just kind of like your car repairs, and just keeping an eye at spending money, which is the key thing, right, to stay on track. Okay. So sometimes, like we had discussed, expenses can kind of creep up on you. For example, those impulse buys that you do at late at night, ordering takeout more frequently, stuff like that, right? Especially unexpected ones. This can really derail your plans. Some of these can be built into your budget if you think ahead. Creating an emergency fund will help for just have a little bit of a cushion, just to kind of prepare for those unexpected things that you just are not prepared for. So having those planned expenses, you may want to explore borrowing options, which we can get into that as well. But really having that emergency plan can really help just provide a little bit of a cushion. Okay, so the benefits and costs of borrowing. Along with setting aside money, borrowing may also help you reach your goals. But it's really important to borrow only as much as you need, because it's easy to get carried away and find yourself deeper and deeper in debt. So let's kind of dive into what those details look like. If borrowing is a good option for you, and because you're unable to pay for things with cash right away, like buying a car. Not many people are just walking out buying a whole car, especially a brand new one. That is definitely an option, but it's important to borrow responsibly, as you can also help establish some good credit habits that will help you get better loans and all that. As I mentioned before, you want to approach this option very carefully, making sure you understand the costs that are involved and prepare for them accordingly. Let's look at a little bit closer at what those drawbacks might be from borrowing. Though borrowing may seem like it's an easy way to kind of get to your goals, there are a lot more to it. Borrowing comes with an important consideration, including costs. Understanding the cost of borrowing is very important, and it helps you, pursuing this option. For example, if you take out a loan, you'll have to pay back the loan. How much are you really borrowing? The amount you borrow can affect the interest rate, the terms, and other important fees. You'll want to consider that APR, what that's going to break down to, because what that really breaks down to is going to affect you every month with those payments. Another example of borrowing costs are transfer fees. That's something that people just don't really consider when they take out a big loan. So it's important to consider what all those things are going to add up to and how those things are going to affect you in the long run. Okay, so let's look at some of these online resources that we have to offer here. Setting and working towards your financial goals can be very daunting when you first start, but you're not alone. There are a lot of great tools out there to help you with managing your budget, as I mentioned earlier, and tracking your spending. So here are just some of the things that we have to offer. You can access these things, of course, for free online. Feel free to take a snapshot of this if you'd like. Check out the college steps. This is probably the best part of this whole presentation, and that's where you're going to see built-in guidance to help you build towards your goals and all that. I definitely highly recommend you take a look at that. The tuition funding resources, we have over $7 million worth of scholarships, free access to those. So please, please, please visit that as well. And the money management map, this is what I was referencing to on how you can have a good budget. And this is a resource that'll help make that easy. The best thing about this one here is, of course, that it's free. There's a lot of resources out there, but when it comes down to it, you'll have a monthly cost. So this is, of course, free. Definitely take a look at that. Okay, so we went over a lot of good stuff today. Like I said, I really am all about the free benefits that we have to offer. Highly recommend taking a look at those. It's never too early to kind of get in front of what your goals are and putting together a plan. You know, I wish that somebody would have had this conversation with me when I was in college or even before. I'd be in a lot different financial situation than I am now. But get in front of that, no matter how big or small. It's great resources to have. We invite you, if you need any assistance, if you want to talk to any experts, we welcome you to please visit us at a branch at any time. And that is a wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now. And I'm going to open it to everybody. If anybody has any questions, let's get into it. And I apologize for the lighting. It's a little dark. I got to get a light, but yeah, thank you guys for your time.
Thank you so much, Laila, for the presentation. It's really helpful, some of the resources that you shared. And I put in our chat box as well, our money management website. It has similar resources to what Wells Fargo offers, but it's called Unleash Money Portal. It's available to all Fresno State students. So please make sure to utilize all the different resources that are available, and stay tuned to upcoming events that we have. But yes, thank you so much for your time. And if anybody, you could enter your questions in the chat box or raise your hand. But if not, that really concludes today's presentation.
Wonderful. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you all for your time. It's been a great being able to work with you guys all here today. If there's no questions, Martha, I'm going to hop off.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. I'll have to be in contact. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye.